Hi, I'm Craig, and I help veterans go from feeling stuck and unseen after service to living with confidence, connection, and purpose so that they can thrive in civilian life and relationships. Hey, vets, it's Craig. Welcome back to my channel. And I just wanted to hop on here real quick and um, tell you all how much I really, really appreciate the love and support and subscribing and watching that you guys have been doing over the last I would say maybe over the last few days or so. It's been very encouraging and uplifting to me. I shifted the focus of this channel probably last month to focus primarily on veterans and their families and all of the challenges and all of the issues that veterans face. And primarily, I felt like it was a good idea to start with VA claims and helping veterans work through their compensation claims. And so I'm so happy and grateful that it's been a help, it's been beneficial, and it's been of assistance to many veterans and many veterans' families. And I hope that you guys will stick around and stay with me for the duration and the growth of this channel because there are some exciting things that are happening and some exciting things that are occurring with Royal Rock Counseling and Consulting. So this is my appreciation to you, every subscriber, everybody who has watched the videos. I'm so grateful and so glad that you're with me on this journey. Now, let me also say something else. Um, I I wanted to highlight the fact that when I'm talking about veterans and their benefits, a lot of veterans feel like that benefits are just tied into compensation, meaning all benefits are about is just the money. Like they just, whether it's 50%, 60%, most veterans are trying to get to 100% permanent and total compensation. And then, there's other percentage, there's other monetary compensations even higher than that 100% rate, depending on what's going on with you, your conditions and all of those things. And what I try to often focus on is the fact that your VA benefits isn't just about the money. No, the money is important, and I want everybody to understand where I'm coming from. The money is hugely important. It is life changing for most veterans, particularly veterans who are having financial struggles and difficulties. Perhaps veterans can't find employment, can't find work, and can't find viable careers and professions. It is definitely a boost, and it kind of gives you that confidence and that financial security that most veterans need, especially coming out of the military. You don't know what kind of job you're going to be able to get. There's all kinds of uh, transitions that you have to go through with regard to skills and abilities and talent and trying to make sure you fit into the right career field. What do I do? How do I take my military skills and transfer them over into civilian skills? And so I understand and I get the financial aspect of it. But what I also want to stress to all my veteran brothers and sisters all around the world is that the benefits that you get from the VA are also owed to you for your continued health and wellness throughout the rest of your life. There are so many other things that veterans don't tap into with regard to benefits: VA healthcare, educational benefits, home loans, adaptable housing loans, all of these different aspects and things that veterans can tap into, VRE, so many other benefits for veterans. And it's not just at the 100% level. Veterans are authorized and entitled to so many different programs. It's just that most veterans just think about the VA compensation from the injuries that they sustained while on active duty. And that is the first thought process, and that's the first, really the first choice for most veterans. And I also want to say, from a mental health perspective, I know that a lot of veterans they connect the VA to the federal government, and the federal government is where they experience a great level of trauma, a great level of hurt and pain and disappointment. And so many of them don't want to deal with the VA, not just to do a compensation claim for VA benefits, but also not to get any level of their benefits that they so rightfully fought for and that they so rightfully deserve. I want to speak to you and say that those benefits are benefits that you should absolutely tap into. There are different ways that the VA is entitled to help you if you served honorably. And so many veterans that I've seen over the years, they just walk away from their benefits. They think either they don't deserve them, or the way the pot of money, this is the most popular one, the way the pot of money works, I'd rather other veterans who deserve it or need it or require it more than me get it over me. But that's not the way anything works. If you are a veteran, you are entitled to your benefits. Now, remember, we always talk about it on this channel, having records that are current, accurate, and complete. And we know that current, accurate, and complete records means that we have integrity when we are submitting our VA claims. And so we don't want to submit anything that is not actually going on with this just so we can get money. We don't want to talk about anything that happened to us while we're on while we don't want to falsify any documents so that we can get benefits or money or sort of any sort of extra place in line with regard to us being veterans. And so we know that the morals and values that we learned while we were in the military, and many of us before we came in the military, those hold true even now as post-service veterans. And so we want to make sure that we are getting, the benefits that we actually earned. But at the same time, we should not feel like that the way everything is set up, there's other veterans who deserve this more than I do. If you served honorably and you committed to being there for your country and fighting for freedom and justice all around the world for so many years, then you are entitled to those benefits. So that being said, I wanted to let everybody know that I've come up with some PDF guides that are accompanying some of the videos that I've done. So what I did was I looked at my channel and I saw this rise in viewership, which again, I appreciate. And I said, well, man, let me look at some of the videos that veterans seem to be most interested in, that have the most views. And what I've done is I've constructed PDF guides for those videos. Now, what you'll find is some of the information that's in the video is also in the PDF guide. But what you will also find is a lot more information about how to prepare for that particular situation or circumstance if you're a veteran. So here's what I'm going to do. I have already placed it on the How Older Vets Can Win VA Claims. I've already placed that link, that link to the Google Drive where you can get that free PDF on that drive. But here's what I'm going to do for this video. I am going to make available, and this is the free resource. Drum roll, please. Although I'm not going to put a drum roll in there, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to make 5 PDFs available in this video, in the description link. And I'm going to give you the keywords that if you put those words in this description link in the video for any one of these, and I'll also put the keywords in the video description as well. I will send you all 5 of them if you want 5, 4 if you want 4 out of 5, 3, 2, 1, however many you want. If you put those keywords in there, then I will send you a free, I will provide the link for a free copy of the PDF that I've prepared. And you don't want to miss out on this free copy, because what it has is it has information from the video, but then it also has more information with regard to forms and the forms and references. It goes deeper into directly going to that form and making sure that you fill those forms out correctly. It also has clickable links. So in each one of these PDF forms, all you gotta do is, like, if I've mentioned the form, then you just click the link, and then it takes you directly to the form that you need. If it's applicable and appropriate, in other instances, it just has the reference where you can go, where I found the information, where you can go and research that information for yourself or use that information for your claim. And then in every PDF at the end, I have something in the appendix that I think will boost you into getting the favorable claim that you need. And what I mean by that is I've got these evaluation pieces in those appendices that will really, really help you. For example, in one, I have a checklist, and another one, I have a strategy guide at the end of that. So, in another one, I have a decision matrix um, at the end of it, which says that's the due process one. And what it says is, if this is where due process applies. This is where due process doesn't apply. And I think I have 2 appendices in that one as well. So listen, you will have, by the time you download these guides, you will have everything you need to initially file your claim and really get almost to where you could do a high level review if you needed to. But I am convinced that if you download these guides, you'll have everything you need to submit your claim, and you won't necessarily have to go to supplemental review, or you may not have to submit a supplemental claim. Most people submit supplemental claims though, because that's just the nature of the VA. Oftentimes they're missing documentation, missing information. So most people submit supplemental claims. However, I believe that if you take this information that I'm giving you, this free information that I'm giving you, these free guides that I'm giving you, and apply that, right, and make sure you use diligence and perseverance and apply that, I think you will find success and favorability in your VA claims. I've done so, and this is information I've learned over the years, and some of it's information that I've learned since I've gotten rated, compensation rated as a veteran. And so it's all information. And one of the most important things about these guides is these guides have the most new and current information. What I've also found with a lot of people that are in this space is that, yes, there's a lot of information. Yes, there are a lot of checklists and things, right? But some of the information is outdated. Some of the information is what we would call in the military, as you guys know, tribal knowledge. Some of the information is applicable and specific to certain demographics and groups of people who served in certain commands at certain times. And quite frankly, some of the information is just not true. And so you want to stick directly to the most current information that's found in the 38 CFR, and the most current information is found in the M21-1 -5. You want to make sure that you stick to that information that's current, because as I've stated before in my videos, a lot of the information is constantly being updated, right? The VA is constantly updating that information. So I'm going to put everything up on the screen as of right now, all of the free PDFs that you can get as a result of this video. And remember, I'm also going to put these individual PDFs in associated with the individual videos that you are watching, and many of you are watching those videos a lot, and I appreciate that. So let's just take a rundown the list of everything that's going to be available at in this video, in the video description, by request. If you want this, I want to make sure that there's enough and adequate interest. Instead of just providing the links, I want to make sure there's enough and adequate interest in the PDF links, interest in these resources and this information that you're getting for free, and that veterans really do want this to help them win their compensation claims. So here's a list of, in order, really, and they're in the order that I made the video. So here's a list of what's going to be available. The first one is filing your VA claim the right way. I made a video about that, step-by-step prep for maximum compensation. If you want that video, you just type in file claim into the comment section and I will provide the link. The second one is how to file a VA claim in 2025. And the title is Step-by-Step Guide to Methods, Evidence, and Pro Tips. For that one, you just put submit claim, because that's a lot about submitting your claim. Remember, we talked about the 6 ways to submit a claim. The 6th one was a mystery one, which is VA Quick Submit. So that's how you get that PDF. The third one is VA Due Process Explained, how to protect your benefits from reduction or termination. And for that one, you'll just type in due process. The next one is, the fourth one is what to do when you get your VA rating decision approved and not deferred. And for that one, you just type in decision letter. That was a really popular one. And I think you'll find with all of these, really, but with this one specifically, I think you'll find it very beneficial, that appendix that I have at the end. And then the last one, which has been the most popular video, is how older vets can win VA claims, reconstructing lost military records and navigating the VA system. For that PDF, free PDF guide, just type in over 55 in the comment section. I am so happy and privileged and blessed to be able to provide you guys these resources and tools. My goal is that every veteran who has the ability and the capacity to file their own claim, be able to file that claim in as equitable, efficient, and in as affordable a manner as possible. And so that's my goal. That's my mission. Listen, I will be very frank and transparent with you. I'm going to provide a lot of free resources. Will there be some resources that will be at cost? Absolutely. There is a cost to running a business. There's a cost to doing a lot of things, but there are going to be so many free resources that I think many of you, before we even start putting a cost on anything. And by the way, that cost is going to be very, very insignificant, just so you know. I'm not a believer that a veteran should have to pay, a great amount of money to do this, particularly when you've earned the benefits, you've earned the rights. And then the other reason is there are so many people out here like me and other content creators, which I'll start shouting out as well, who do the same thing and who are talented and gifted to serve you in this way. And so since we are all brothers and sisters in this sort of fraternity of being in the military, I think that it's appropriate that all of us help one another. There are ways in which some of us are more talented than others. Some of us are more informed than others. Some of us do well than others. And then what I don't do well at, there's so many other veterans who do, which I've called on for help over the years. So those are the 5 PDFs. I've left it up on the screen all the way through. I'll put it in the description if you want it. And then what I'm also going to do is I'm going to make sure that, in inappropriate times, I'm going to also make sure that I put a PDF together for, veterans who might be stuck in certain areas. There are some very complex parts, or I would say complicated parts of VA claims, especially when you start getting into higher level reviews and appealing to the Board of Veterans Appeals. That is not always, it's always an option, but it's not always the very best thing to do. And we'll talk more about that. Because, in some cases, the veteran may not have to go that high. There could be something that you're overlooking in your record that once you actually see that thing and are able to provide the adequate evidence at the appropriate level for that thing, then that can get you over the hump to winning your claim and getting the compensation and benefits that you deserve. So if you need any help with that, please reach out to us. And I'm gonna start doing something that I've kind of refrained from doing, but I've actually talked to my wife and some other people who are close to me, and I've kind of gotten this realization that it's okay to say, "Hey, subscribe to my channel." I do believe that I'm bringing valuable content. You'll notice that I don't necessarily say that in my videos. I might put it in the description. Well, I always put it in the description to like, subscribe, and share. But if you know veterans who will need this information, please subscribe to the channel. We want to continue to provide these resources to veterans at as low a cost as possible. Takes a lot to run YouTube channels. You guys know that. So if you like this video, if it is an encouragement to you, if it has helped you, if you've passed it on and it has helped others, please subscribe to the channel, like, comment, share, do all of that. It really helps us, and it really helps the channel grow and helps us to be able to continue to provide these resources. And I'm going to do that for as long as I live. I'll provide resources for veterans. That's something that's in me. That's something I think that I was just built to do. And so I'm going to continue to provide those resources. And again, stay with the channel, because I think I have an approach that's different than most people when it comes to this. There are so many different ways to think about claims. There are so many creative ways to think about VA claims. that I just don't think people tap into. And sometimes we just need that little bit of a nudge. And so I'm here and willing to provide that nudge for you guys. And so I hope you'll stay with me and follow, like, subscribe, comment, and share. And so thank you everybody again. I really appreciate it. Get those free resources. I think they'll be a great help to you. If you have any questions or concerns, or you want me to answer anything, or you want to set up a free consultation with us, please hit me up at CraigC@RoyalRockLLC.com, and I'll be glad to work with you, glad to assist you, glad to help you kind of navigate through some of these things. I have clients that I'm working with now who are at various levels of the VA claims process, and I'd love to have you join that family with us. So thank you for watching. Live royally and live well, and I'll see you in the next video.